Good afternoon, Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Welcome to Special Report. I'd like to thank KC Securities for being our title sponsor, both the morning and the afternoon version of Special Report. I'm Chris Holtgorn here with Colette Linden.
Hello, friend. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well today for this amazing Monday. It's really nice out. We'll get to the weather in a little bit. We do want to let you know that the Premier is coming out shortly. As you'll see there, there's our 2-minute dude. That's not a 2-minute. I got faked out again, Chris.
You're getting faked out. That's not 2-minute Tommy. That's just some other random dude.
He is. Okay, so random dude.
They're really trying to mess with us lately. They have like a 4-minute dude, a 2-minute dude. Like, come on, can we just pick one person to tell us the 2-minute warning?
Well, I will tell you something. He is going to be standing alongside the Minister of Energy, Northern Development and Mines, who is also the Minister of Indigenous Affairs, Greg Whitford. Greg has been in the news a lot today.
Yes.
A lot of good things. We're going to get to our news, a lot of local news, but a lot of provincial news that we want to share later with you that does involve that minister. Also, Bill Walker, he's the Associate Minister of Energy. So there's some stories tied to that we already know, but I'm sure they're going to tell you more. We are going to start with some local news. We're going to start with weather. What are we doing? Weather? Somebody tell me.
Sure.
Tell me.
Yeah, we can do weather. Over to Danny.
Thanks, you two. So if we do have a look at weather right now, it's about 23 degrees outside and it is going to be going to a low of 13. And I will let everyone know there is a chance of showers in the late evening starting at 7 p.m. today. And then heading into Tuesday, it does say there could be chances of a thunderstorm, but we're just going to kind of play it out. It will be a high of 24 tomorrow with a low of 9. And then heading into Wednesday, it's going to be bright and sunny with a high of 8 and a high of 20 and a low of 8. So the next few days are going to be relatively enjoyable. So if everyone can get outside, remember social distance and enjoy the day. Back to the desk.
So nice to have my Danny back. You are a very, you're a very handsome man, Christopher. We love you here, but Danny. She just makes that weather that much better and smiler. So welcome back, Danny. She's also going to do the sports.
She also had the right days, which helps. Since on Friday I gave
like she does that. Every weather person who reads the day
before is always right.
The day after news, you're never wrong.
You're never wrong. It's great.
Thank you, Danny. She'll be back with sports later on. Again, the Premier is coming out shortly with the Minister of Indigenous Affairs and Minister of Mines, Northern Development and Mines. Not there yet. So let's move on to some local news. Restricted access to Garden River. That will be lifted shortly. They had a meeting, I believe last night, so on June the 16th. They will no longer be standing there, or personnel will be standing there asking you what's your reason for your visit, and so on and so forth. Their decision to remove the restricted access was based on the ease of the pandemic restrictions that the government's setting for municipalities. So that is good news. So June 16th, and that could be extended, you never know, but right now it is June 16th.
Yeah, because they were only letting residents in for quite some time now.
Or points of business. Oh yeah, maybe if someone was delivering some stuff, who knows?
And stuff like that, yeah.
But, so that is good news. They do want to remind you though, continue with your social distancing measures when you do visit to Garden River, but that's great. It's also National Indigenous Month. But we're going to get that to a little bit later in the newscast.
I wonder if that has anything to do with Ford's announcement today, because
I think it does.
Our report is the Minister of Indigenous Affairs.
That's right. So. That's why I was thinking Greg Whitford. He's the minister, the energy minister, and as well as he's got two big portfolios.
He's got one of the longest titles, even longer than the guy that's the red tape reduction guy. Whose title seems to be like 2 lines long. It's like small businesses, other stuff, that.
Minister of Transportation. We get those.
Red tape reduction, But this one at least makes sense.
Absolutely.
This guy's title makes sense. The other one is like, what is red tape reduction?
No, I don't know, but actually I would love to know. Anyway, we do kind of know. That's not true.
Sort of, yeah.
Also, we wanted to let you know that Group Health Center is opening up. They were open. They had restricted access. They were obviously, we're not allowing you, unless under certain circumstances, depending on your condition, to go into the group health center. However, they are lifting their restrictions as well, so that's good news. Just what you need to do is when they make an appointment, they're going to give you guidelines. And a lot of the stuff will still be done virtually, but they are starting to welcome and open more. Now, massage therapists and all that, as we discussed last week, dentists, those are back open, but you need to contact your local or your doctor to find out what their restrictions are. I don't think everybody's going to be the same on this. They might be open certain days, certain hours, Monday to, you never know. So look into that, please. Another cannabis store is opening in the Soo. We went from 0 to 3 in less than a year. Since I moved here, since we moved here,
Yeah, since we
they have
moved
gone
here.
from 0 to 3.
That's how much pot
How
the people need to put up
peculiar.
with us in this town.
Pardon?
That's how much pot they need to put up with us in this town. 3 stores.
You know what?
Yeah.
Shoot, it's you,
Us
it's not
weird
me.
people from Southern Ontario
You are weird.
and Miami and London.
So this one,
And everywhere.
I'm going to get Danny to shout it out. Where is this in Sault Ste. Marie? Where is this new one?
So the new one that's opening up will hopefully be opening up kind of end of June, beginning of July. I will be interviewing one of the partners tomorrow actually to get the full details, but this new cannabis store is going to be going up behind Giovanni's. So Colette, when you go over to Sally's, it's
Yes.
actually going to be right beside
Sally's
you.
is my
So there
store.
you go. So we're going to have Cannabis Jacks, that's the name of it.
That's cute.
Over there, we have Hello Cannabis over on Northern Street, and then we're going to have another cannabis store over by Second Line. So they're all kind of in close proximities of one another, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, because Sessions Cannabis and as well as Cannabis
right.
Jack are going to be opening up kind of around the same time. So we'll see what happens.
I would love to be in the, sorry, Danny.
Everything is close in this town after you live in Toronto.
I know, I love it. I would love to be in that focus group that says, what would you like to call this cannabis store? Like,
Cannabis Jacks.
Cannabis Jack.
That was my first thought.
Hello, cannabis.
Yeah. I would have gone with something like High as a Kite or something.
I like that.
There's
And
the
then you
fourth
can-
store,
and then-
ladies
and then you have,
gentlemen.
like,
There's the fourth store.
And then you have like the logos, like a kite
Yeah,
made of marijuana.
I love it. Anyway, like I said, he's
Producer
weird.
Mike thought it was funny.
You
You're
are
laughing in
so
the ear.
weird. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so in New York City, these raids are going on, and
Mm-hmm.
something horrible has happened to anybody who loves to shop in Soho, Manhattan, Soho. They have totally raided all the Prada stores and the Gucci's and the higher end stores. Like, it is an extremely high end area, Soho,
Mm-hmm.
and so these raids have had people looting and taking beautiful purses. Just beautiful purses and shoes and everything nice. So, you know what? What's going on with the premier here? Where are we at? Can we show that split screen, Mike? Okay, he's still not there. So why don't you engage
Sure.
the community and tell us about an interview you did today?
Yes, today I interviewed Donna Hilsinger. She is the councillor for Ward 3 here in Sault Ste. Marie. I do have a short clip from her, and actually, since we haven't seen 2 Minute Tommy yet, have we?
I don't think so. Why
Okay,
don't
so
we
let's
go to
run
the
that clip because it's 1 minute and 50 seconds. So
We
let's
are
run the
flying
let's,
by the
let's
seat
go
of our
right into
pants
that
today.
clip because we can get it in, and then I'll talk about after if Ford isn't on at that point. And it's talking about the fiscal problems that the city is now facing because of COVID-19.
Nice, good one. Good one.
And here we go.
Thank you for helping.
Sizes
helping me
everywhere
out
in the
here.
world.
I didn't want to dive into all
The
of it.
effects on our economy of COVID-19 are certainly our greatest challenge of the moment. We're always looking to grow assessment here. That's what creates more resources so that we can continue to invest in our city. But as of May 31st, we're looking at $1 million shortfall in terms of our budgeted results for the year. And we are advocating, along with other communities, very strongly to the federal and provincial governments, telling them that we're going to need help. Municipalities everywhere in Canada are going to need help. They're not going to be able to manage these expenses on their own because we don't have any way to collect that money. A municipality collects money through fees and property taxes, and we don't have any other way of doing that. So we are going to need help. We hope that help will be forthcoming. We also have already been, in the last couple of years, looking at ways that we can streamline our services at the city to be able to continue to deliver the fine services that our staff do, but perhaps we can do that at a reduced cost or in a more streamlined way by making different types of infrastructure investments so we have more current technology, these kinds of things. But certainly we are going to have a huge challenge on our hands when we come to the budget this fall. If we think innovatively and we look at all our options and we do get that support federally or provincially or both, I'm sure that we'll be able to work things out.
And we got that video in just in time. Lucky it was 1 minute 50. Yeah, perfect timing. Even perfect timing on live television. So I've had in my ear that Doug Ford is about to come out. But while we're waiting for that, to the back end of this story, and that is that this morning, ironically, exactly when I was interviewing Donna,
It's like we have that.
Yeah, I know.
connection. I
It's
had
like
it the
that.
other
It's
day
that thing with the reporter. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say that. So that
and the
2.2.
border and people and stuff. So
know.
somehow we are super aligned here. We're just finding the right stories at literally the exact moment. And Trudeau earlier today was talking about there's an infrastructure payment that goes out from the gas tax to
Yes,
all the
there is.
municipalities every year. And this year they're giving it away all in June, so the municipalities will have it. So this summer they can have projects in the ground going
Good.
ahead of time. For example, bike and walking paths, improving both water and road systems, as well as expanding internet access. So these are projects that don't require a super amount of planning. That a lot of municipalities have this in the plan. They just don't have the money to do it.
Oh, yeah. They
So this
definitely
is
do
going to
that.
be providing more jobs, particularly in construction, over the next few months, which is going to help our economy
Go out.
hopefully get out of this COVID-19 economic mess that we are in.
And remember, that's a conversation you and I had a week or so ago when
Yeah.
we had the transportation minister
Yes.
or infrastructure minister appear with the premier. We thought, okay, great, this means more jobs.
Gonna
for this,
announce some-
good
yeah.
announcement, get those shovels into the ground, get shovel-ready jobs going, which will help the city. That didn't happen.
No.
So I'm glad to see that the most municipalities are finally getting their work. Now, I do know that the city of Toronto's still complaining about this handout because they themselves say they're 1.5 billion. Well, it's always
Yeah.
about Toronto and what they need. Well, no,
Yeah.
it isn't. So
Well, yeah, the Canadian Federation of Municipalities is saying that for municipalities, the lost revenue that they're from this is somewhere between 10 to 15 billion.
yeah.
Now, this infrastructure money isn't new. The municipalities were already getting it, so it's not like they're getting an additional 2.2 billion. What they are asking for, though, is sort of a fund with 10 billion in it, and then
Yeah.
you apply based on the population or how much did your transit ridership go down, and then you get so much money for lost revenue in transit and lost revenue in other areas of the city that is paid for by the cities.
And I know some other associations across Ontario too, they hold the money for these municipalities.
Yep.
And it kind of, it expedites the process when the municipalities want to receive that money. Instead of going back up to the provincial red tape and going that way, the province hands it down to associations such as FCM and Ontario Roads Association and all of those, people who are representing the municipalities. So that is good news for the municipality and for Sault Ste. Marie. Maybe we'll get to see some of those potholes not just have a Band-Aid put over them, we'll get to see some roads torn up and redone.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
I know.
Yeah, potholes are like air in the city.
It is like Frogger.
Yeah.
It is absolutely like Frogger
I've never
out
seen
there.
a city with this many potholes.
Exactly.
And our street, it's perfectly paved. You go around a slight corner, and then all of a sudden you're off-roading.
Yeah.
It's like I should be taking a dune buggy across that
Maybe
part.
we could fly around in dune buggies. Never mind. That would
Might
be
work.
fun. Hey, listen, we are going to wait for the premier, but we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, you will have more of Chris, Colette, and Danny, or the premier.
See you in a sec.
Hey Mel, did you know in Queensgate, Australia, it's illegal to own a pet rabbit unless you can prove you're a magician?
Really? Did you know that if you're at the McMeekin Arena, you're only 9 minutes and 54 seconds away from Maitland Ford Lincoln?
It's closer than you think.
What's life without making a few mistakes down the road? A few sharp turns. And doing things for what we adore, but might regret later. A trip to Chuck's Roadhouse isn't one of them. With melt-in-your-mouth AAA steaks, buttery lobster tail, half-priced apps after 9 p.m., an ice-cold draft with all your Roadhouse favorites. Chuck's Roadhouse. Food the way it ought to be, priced the way it used to.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Welcome back. Thank you, Casey Security, for your sponsorship. Hey, Chris, nice haircut. Forgot to mention that quickly.
Yes,
Wanted to do that.
thank you
Well
to
done.
my girlfriend
Yes,
Juliana
well done,
for
Juliana.
the
You did a great
second
job.
haircut that she has done for me now.
She did a great job. Okay, June 1st, it marks the first day of Pride Month, and we wanted to acknowledge that and let everybody know that Pride Month is still here, even though it's a virtual walk. Mayor John Tory is expected to mark the beginning of Pride Month today by raising the rainbow and transgender flags at City Hall in Nathan Phillips Square in Toronto. So we wanted to acknowledge it here. Unfortunately, what I heard over the weekend was the Boston Marathon in 124 years. Sorry,
Wow.
that is not the Boston Marathon. The Boston Marathon for 124 years is canceled the first time. Now, you know, and a few years ago they had that unfortunate bombing.
The bombing happened there, yes,
And
with 2 individuals.
Boston Proud came out and continued on with the race following that tragedy. So it's a lot for the city not to have that this year because of the history there. It's upsetting, but we also have a few sports cancellations here in the Soo. Danny, update everyone, please.
Hey everyone, so as June 7th, as many of you know, that is the Run for the Great Lakes, and unfortunately that has been canceled altogether. And we also wanted to let everyone know that the Ultra Stokely Creek Run that just started last year, was going to be its second year, that's also been postponed. The race isn't until October 2nd and 3rd, but they're taking all the measures now, just completely, okay, we're going to postpone it, it's going to go on to next year. If you go onto the website, there are also options that you can do if you want to defer or return your funds from purchasing your registration. You go onto the link and there's a bunch of options right there, but we're going to go over to Chris for his update.
Wow, the Ultra, that's the one where they run like 100 kilometers, right?
Yep, so
Something
the
like
races are, there's a 17 kilometer, there's a 34 kilometer race, and a 55 kilometer race.
And you did a half a marathon this weekend.
Yes, on Friday I did my first half marathon and got my goal of under 2 hours. So my
Awesome
legs
job.
are feeling it today.
Awesome job. Chris and I did a full marathon.
Yeah,
Danny,
yeah.
you missed it, Danny.
We don't do anything half. We don't do half. We go full.
Oh, we go all out.
We go all the way.
Okay.
That's half stuff. What a wimp.
You better go
Half
before
a
they start asking us
marathon.
questions about it.
Man,
Go.
half a
What was your
marathon. I
time
got lost
pace?
in
Breathing
Kingsman
time?
Park. I'm pretty sure I did a marathon trying to find my way out there with my girlfriend, who got her feet stuck in mud, which was funny. So she'd have washed
Oh,
her shoes.
you guys can
yeah.
definitely tell you're not from here.
Yeah, that was good times. Good times.
Okay,
We
baby,
were wandering
the
around in the
corner
woods where every tree looks the same, and all the maps were very useful. I'm not even good with Google Maps. Never mind when your trail's in the wood and you have no idea which direction you are. So, anyways, let's talk about
least we know
Ontario.
where you are.
Yes,
You
we're
did the show
segueing.
tomorrow.
Yeah, if I'm not here tomorrow morning, please search Kinsman Park with a
Oh,
helicopter.
sure we will.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You'll send half a helicopter. Okay, Ontario now has 304 new infections from yesterday and only 10 deaths. So the number of deaths has been going down, but this is our first day over 400 in about 5 days now. We were as low as 323 on Saturday.
Yeah.
The last time we saw over 400 cases on a single day was May 25th. Now, their Ford government this week has started their new testing strategy. What that means in reality is that they are going into workplaces to test, particularly the like food factories, car factories, and so on, where there's been outbreaks.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's going to be pop-up mobile testing in hard-hit areas. So I don't know if any of you have seen the map of Toronto. It's heat mapped and shows how many cases are in each
okay.
area.
Yeah, that's a good
so
idea.
there's going to be pop-up testing in the areas that are most hard hit, and it will just simply be a street unit that shows up. You'll go into a little tent. They will do the test,
Yeah.
and then you get your results.
That's a great
This
idea.
is how they're going to try and see how many people have been exposed, and how many people are walking around with the virus but don't even know, because you can be asymptomatic,
That's right, yeah.
never even get the virus, develop the antibodies, and you can fight against it, and you didn't even have so much as a sniffle.
Okay.
So
I have a question for you.
Go
So
for it.
67% of the province is Toronto, correct?
Yes.
So when are they going to start testing everyone When do they get to that point where they can start testing, allow the general public to go in to see if they're asymptomatic?
You can call, and part of this new strategy is if you call and want to test, they will most likely give you a test.
Okay.
They're going to ask you some questions first, like type of exposure, things like
So
that.
they want to gauge your risk factor.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like if you've been living in a tent in the middle of nowhere for the last 3 months, you're not going to get a test.
Okay.
You were in Walmart yesterday, you will. And we're going to the Doug Ford. Here we go.
Well, good afternoon. Before I get started today, I want to take a moment and address the news we've seen in the United States and here at home. Zero tolerance for anyone targeting the Black community or any minority group. I just won't stand for it, and we won't stand for it as a province. My friends, people are hurting right now, and we must acknowledge this pain. We must acknowledge where it is coming from. And that means coming face to face with some of the most difficult problems we face as a society. And many of these issues are deeply rooted. They stem from a history of racism and abuse. But it is not only by bringing these issues to light, it is only by facing them. It's only by working together that we can begin to address them. My friends, there's no doubt that this has been a very difficult year, the hardest we've seen in our lifetime. We've seen and faced unprecedented challenges. We've faced obstacles no one could have predicted. And no matter what we faced it head on. And it is up to us, all three levels of government, to work together to support people through these difficult times. I know many of us feel a little uncertain about the future, but I assure you, my commitment to you is that my government will always stand with you. As Premier, I will always be there for you. We will support people through these difficult times, and I know that for the next few months, many parents will continue working from home. Our kids will continue learning at home. And one way we're trying to support people through this period is providing relief on hydro bills. This is critical at a time when so many people are at home and relying on electricity. Starting today, we're announcing the new COVID-19 recovery rate for all time of use customers. Families, small businesses, and farms will pay a fixed rate of 12.8 cents per kilowatt hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This rate will remain in effect until October 31st. The new rate will simply show up on your bill. And for those families who are struggling right now, no one, and I repeat, no one, will have their power cut off because they can't afford to pay their hydro bill right now. We're extending the ban on the power disconnections for residential customers off because they can't afford to pay their hydro bill right now. We're extending the ban on the power disconnections for residential customers until July 31st. And today, we're also introducing the new COVID-19 Energy Assistance Program. This program will provide support to low-income families who are struggling to pay their electricity bills. It will provide a one-time payments to cover electricity debts incurred during the COVID-19 period. We're also giving our small businesses a hand up. The new COVID-19 Energy Assistance Program for small business will provide support to small businesses that are struggling to pay their electricity bills due to the outbreak. Right now, every dollar counts. And these hydro relief measures are just another way we're working to support you during this time. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll turn it over to Minister Rickford.
Well, thank you, Premier, and thank you for your leadership. I'm pleased to join you today from Kenora on beautiful Lake of the Woods to speak about the actions our government's taking to support Ontario's electricity consumers. At the beginning of this crisis, we took swift action to suspend time of use prices to support those doing their part by staying home. This past Saturday, we announced that our government will continue the suspension of time of use pricing. And starting today, June 1st, electricity customers will be billed at a flat rate of 12.8 cents from June 1st to October 31st, 2020. Call it the COVID-19 recovery rate. Today, I'm also excited to share our government's plan to introduce greater customer choice for Ontario's electricity consumers. Beginning on November 1st, 2020, our government will offer electricity customers the option, the choice, to be billed by time of use or switch to a tiered rate electricity pricing plan. This action will allow Ontarians to choose an electricity pricing plan that best suits their household and lifestyle. Samedi dernier, nous avons annoncé qu'on allait maintenir la suspension de tarification selon l'heure de consommation et à compter d'aujourd'hui, le 1er juin, les consommateurs d'électricité s'y verront facteur un tarif forfaitaire de 2,8 cents appelé tarif d'électricité de récupération suite à la COVID-19. Ce tarif fixe demeurera en vigueur de 1er juin au 31 octobre 2020 et permettra aux consommateurs d'utiliser l'électricité quand ils ont besoin, peu importe l'heure. Je suis également heureux de vous faire part aujourd'hui du plan de notre gouvernement visant à offrir un plan grand choix aux consommateurs d'électricité de l'Ontario. À compter du 1er novembre 2020, notre gouvernement offrira aux consommateurs la possibilité d'être facturés au tarif selon l'heure de consommation ou de passer à un plan de tarification progressif d'électricité. We know the COVID outbreak has resulted in unexpected financial hardship for Ontario families and businesses, which is why our government is pleased to announce the COVID-19 Energy Assistance Program, which will provide $9 million in relief funding to Ontarians who are falling behind in their energy bills. Applications for the program will be available through local electricity utilities this coming July. And to help offset some of that small business owners' expenses, we are announcing the COVID-19 Energy Assistance Program for small businesses, which will provide $8 million of electricity bill relief funding. Notre gouvernement est fier de présenter le programme d'aide aux impayés d'énergie en raison de la COVID-19. Il fournira un financement d'urgence d'une valeur de 9 millions de dollars aux Ontariens qui parviennent pas à payer leur facture d'énergie à temps en raison de la pandémie. Nous savons que de nombreux propriétaires de petites entreprises ont également eu du mal à couvrir leurs frais de l'exploitation. Alors, pour contribuer à compenser certaines de leurs dépenses, nous lançons le programme d'aide aux impayés d'énergie en raison de la COVID-19 pour les petites entreprises qui fournira un allègement des tarifs d'électricité d'une valeur de 8 millions de dollars. Today, we're proud to announce targeted support for electricity consumers as we continue to spend more time in our homes and set a path forward as we recover, restart our economy. Thank you. Je vous remercie.
I'll just have a quick announcement before we get started regarding the testing. We have mobile units out in the field, and I just want to thank everyone. We have some really good numbers. I saw we hit